Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3. Now, on the show, we regularly celebrate non-profit organizations that play a critical role in combating poverty and helping the less privileged. And over the years, we've been able to get an inside look into some of the restricting challenges faced by many of these non-profit organizations across our country. Now, today, on World NGO Day, the Institute for Justice and Reconciliation will be bringing together a spectrum of civil society leaders in an effort to address and tackle these challenges. And we're joined this morning in studio by the Executive Director of the Institute for Justice and Reconciliation, Stanley Hanekom, and the CEO of Community Chest, Lorenzo Davids. Gentlemen, a very good morning to you, and thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Lorenzo, the first question goes to you. Tell us a bit more about the biggest challenges that are facing non-profit organizations in the work that they're doing currently.
You know, I think the fundamental challenge that NGOs have is the fact that they have to create meaning in a very difficult context.
Yes.
And so, you know, how do you tell your story when you're in a very chaotic and highly pressured set of circumstances? Raising money is the main business of NGOs to ensure that they can survive and then ultimately meet the needs of civil society. So you have education, you have health, you have safety and security, you have hunger challenges. And those are fundamental issues that NGOs continually, day after day, have to respond to. And those are hard calls to make in a country that is often a very complex mixed bag of challenges.
Yeah. And so how will this meeting that's taking place today then seek to address these challenges, and how will you be going about it?
So we have invited a number of non-profits and NGOs just to have a conversation about what is it like to be an NGO in South Africa today, and particularly looking at, so what is it that we think should happen in that space. And Lorenzo mentioned funding, and I'm sure that will be something that will come up. But also, I think our relationship with government, our relationship with the private sector. The sad thing is that, in general, the private sector have not really come to the party in terms of supporting NGOs as much as they can. And so instead of coming together to lament the problems, it's really about saying, how do we ensure that as NGOs we connect and share resources and do things together. And Lorenzo, I was just talking about how we can work together more often. And so it's really about finding a space for NGOs to talk about how do we not just survive, but thrive.
Yeah. If I may ask, what seems to be the problem as to why the corporate sector isn't coming to the party where this is concerned? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel it is part of their corporate responsibility to support the citizens and the communities at the end of the day, make their businesses thrive. Has there been a bit of a discussion around what the problem might be? Is it a communication aspect? Is it an alignment of deals and philosophies? What might be the problem?
You know, I think the fundamental challenge that corporate South Africa must have within this particular aspect is that how do you give money and ensure that it achieves the end result?
Yes.
So this is not just about making donations, because South Africa is at a critical point.
Yeah.
This is about designing solutions, and I don't think corporate South Africa really understands how you best design solutions. Making the money available is one aspect.
Yeah.
But designing the solution, that's a bunch of experts, and the NGO community have that kind of expertise. It's bringing the expertise of the solution with the money together. If you only have the money, you can't make the sense.
Yeah. So then, please go on.
But I think there's another aspect which we also have to bear in mind.
Yeah.
The private sector have the money, they have to be involved in corporate social responsibility, but for them it's about the camera moments, you know, the tangible things. There we feed. Can you see? We're feeding people. We're painting this thing, and whereas NGOs generally work much deeper. And over a much longer period of time. So there's also that aspect that they need to have their moment where they can showcase what they do. There's a school that we've built there, you know, and so it is a combination of a number of factors. We need to have a conversation.
Yeah. Well, here's to hoping. Yes, please go ahead, Lorenzo.
The issue in 2018, I think, you know, as the UNDP said with 2018 World NGO Day, is that our three main things is obviously to celebrate the work of NGOs. Secondly is to commemorate, you know, the extraordinary efforts by both countries, governments, and the private sector and civil society to the process of building a healthy civil society. And thirdly is the issue of collaboration. So it's it's commemorate, celebrate, and collaborate. And collaboration is where it really is key. And I think what Stan is referring to is finding each other. Government, corporate South Africa, civil society, NGOs, finding each other to forge that collaboration.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. That's all the time that we have. But of course, if you'd like to be part of the event, it's taking place Gardens in Cape Town, the IJR offices on 105 Hatfield Street. We have the details on the screen for you. And here's to hoping that next year we'll be reporting on very, very good news with regard to the meeting that you had today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.